What's going on, YouTube? So hot and sweaty. All right, so the reason I'm hot and sweaty is because I've been outside grinding, and then I did some more grinding, and then some more grinding, and I figured I'm gonna make a new utility knife. And this is my shape so far. You see that little tab in the back? That's gonna be a fold over. I'm gonna do a hollow handle. I'm gonna go through, and then I'm gonna bang that part down. But I am going to JB weld it into the hollow handle, so it's not just going to be relied on that to hold it on. But it should be pretty cool when I'm all done. I won't know until it is all done, so I have to go finish it to find out if it's going to be all cool when I'm all done. So I'm going to press pause, and next time you see this thing, it might be a little closer to ready. So I'm going to go inside now because it's blazing hot out here, and I'm going to go start working on my handle. Hold on now. All right, so I just grinded down my tang. I have some pieces here that I've been working on. I didn't expect it to fit. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to grind down a little more. I bet. Let's just see how it goes. Let's see. All right, so that's a little tight, but I can hammer that down. And I have this little piece right here that I'm gonna put on. So once I hammer this down with some glue, then I can hammer this end down right here. I'm basically going to have a utility knife that looks like this, right? I've got the bayonet ring on there. I had that guard for a while just sitting around doing nothing, and I had this rubber piece right here that had a hole in it, and I'm like, well, I could use that as a handle. So I just had to do slight modifications, and then this one I just did a little grinding on, and it makes a good rear. So that's going to be it once it's all done. It's small. Let's see how big the blade is here. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. You guys are actually leaning on the measuring device. So the blade is only, it's actually 4.5 inches. So it's not bad. Now normally, like 4.5 inch knives like the Benchmade Saddle Mountain Skinner and a bunch of knives like that, you look at them and proportionately you're thinking, oh wow, it's a nice blade for that knife. This one looks like it's incredibly stubby just because it has a full size handle, and I didn't want to go with a short handle because I like to be able to hold on to my knives, but having this just to do that is going to be good. And this is just something I had sitting around, so I figured why not use it, right? So I'm going to work on hammering that in a bit, and then I will work on the JB weld, and it's pretty much done. It's pretty much done. Then I'm just going to hammer that in. But and then obviously I'm going to do the edge. I got to give it a nice wicked edge, and this is going to be a good little utility knife and a really good rib cage stabber for Bigfoot. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is just going to create a nice lashing point, even if I wanted to use this as a spear tip. So ooh, that's on there already pretty good, but I got to get this part a little better situated down there. I don't care if there's a little gap because it's just for me, but I do want to have it sit a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna work on that. I'll show you guys in a few. All right, so the fitting has gone very well. It is JB glued, JB welded, and all I have left is to bend the tab when everything dries. So it's going to set like that. I'm going to let this get nice and hard. And once that is, then I can go ahead and work my edge. But that's a pretty cool little utility knife right there. It's going to get a couple jobs done, and I think that's going to be all right. So all that's left is to bend the little guy. What I was thinking about doing was splicing it down the middle and bending each side, but it's pretty thin. I don't think I need to. I think I just might dip it over one hiccup, and that's it. But man, this thing, there is no rattle at all. That is on there pretty good. And now once this hardens in 5 minutes, it will be ready for a little hammering and a little edge work. And once that's done, I will have a completed knife. So I will show you in a second. Ran into an issue. All right, so while hammering the stem, I broke it off. So what I did is I just threw more of the glue on there, but this is the shape. This is what it's going to look like. All right, it is heat treated and tempered. Now what I need to do is go ahead and work that edge a little bit. So right now it's going to come down to just more grinding on the edge to get it down. But so far, this fat little, blade, it looks very very Middle Eastern-ish the way it sits. This fat little utility blade, man, that would cause a whole lot of damage. That'd make a big hole. But pretty cool so far. So let me go work this edge. Ooh, well, I'll tell you what. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but that edge looks mighty nice. That's a pretty fine little edge right there. You can see that grind angle built me a really pretty edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little ceramic area right here and I'm going to put that in the vise, and because I find it better in the vise, and then I'm just going to keep making it fine. So I'll probably do maybe 20-30 passes on just the ceramic, and just get this thing honed out pretty nice right there. That's pretty good. I got to be careful right here because that glue's not 100% dried yet, but holy moly, it's lightweight, it's sharp, and it's fat, and the grip is comfortable. Then I'm going to sand down the steel, and I might either paint it or blue it, depending, because it is high carbon. So that's what I might do. And so far, so goody gumdrops on that guy right there. This is a cool touch to have on a knife like this, just because you don't see it on something like this. The only time you're going to see this is on bayonets, which are much longer because they have to exceed the barrel length of a rifle. So having that is just something different, and it offers me a really good guard against that edge, so I don't have to worry about jacking my fingers up. That's going to be nice. This one right here, if it falls off, it falls off. I really don't care. It's more to just hide the open hole in the bottom, but it doesn't actually matter to me. And because this swell right here, it'll actually hold my hand on pretty nice, especially being rubber. So if this does happen to fall off while using it, I don't think I'm going to cry a river about it, but it does look good. It does look good on there. Kind of finishes the look of the knife. And the look of this knife is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's very different. And that's one thing. When you see a blade like this fat, this short, you're not going to see a full-length handle, and you're never going to see a barrel catch for a bayonet. You know what I mean? So little things right there just make it completely different. I scored up this part right here to make it flat, and right here you'll see a little bow, and that's because when I was initially grinding this, I didn't expect to be putting the guard on there. So I was going to make that slightly round, and that's what I did, because I was going to let it hug the contour of my finger so I wouldn't jack myself up on the edge, since the edge was coming all the way. But then when I realized, you know what, I could just use this, that little curve kind of stayed. So there's no curve on this side, so that's all flat. The only curve is right there, and well, that really doesn't matter. It just gives me a little peekaboo spot. So I'm going to let this finish hardening. The edge looks good. The edge should cut some stuff. So soon find out. All right, so the only issue I'm having is while doing some work on the blade, I kept bumping into this, and I knocked it off. So I really have to let this cure. Hopefully it will. If not, well, who cares? But what I did is I did some truck bed lining. That's right, truck bed liner on the blade. All right. both sides, looks good. And then I redid the edge to knock off that truck bed liner. Obviously, you don't want a hard truck bed liner on your edge, or you are going to have a crappy edge. But let's see if I can. There we go. Got a little bit of that in there for you. I guess that's not going to come out too clear. But it looks good. It looks good. The edge looks fine. What I'm going to do now is just let this thing cure. And then hopefully it'll just be a cool little utility knife. And it definitely has a unique and cool look to it. So if this works out, it works out. But that's finished product right there. Now I'm just going to let it cure and hope it all works out. So if I end up doing a video using this thing, it's because it cured and it all worked out. So, bam. I know the knife is going to be good. No matter what. The edge, the blade, the steel, all that's going to be good. The handle's going to be good. The only thing I'm really worried about is that. And it's not too big of a concern. But I'm going to let it cure. See how it goes. Let this truck bed liner cure because that's pretty fresh. I just let it semi-dry before I did the edge. So it wasn't even fully dried. And then once it is fully cured, I'll go over the edge one more time. And that will be it. So the next time you see this knife, it will be doing some kind of tasks. And I'm pretty sure I could find something for it to do. So that's it. That's it. My little utility knife. I'm going to have to put a little dbad on there. Etch that in. But as it sits is how it's going to look right there. Oh, yeah. All right. And until it's cured and I'm able to take it outside, I am Donnie B all day. And until next knife.